repair and replace streetlights in and around Metro Atlanta.
The sensors can record outdoor temperature, capture pedestrian and vehicle movement, and record audio and video.
Drone 2 flew over the Thomasville Heights neighborhood.
So the device attaches very nicely to the light, and it blends in quite nicely. And it's got two cameras, 2 audio sensors, edge processing capabilities, which is really great and allows you to do a lot more than just kind of sending full video files back. And supports multiple connectivity options, like cellular is what we're leveraging today, but it can also support fiber and Bluetooth as well.
Officials held a news conference Wednesday night to discuss the progress they've made with the Light Up the Night program and where they plan to go next. 2024 marks year 3 of the ongoing initiative and the latest efforts in the old Adamsville neighborhood.
The next year, we're going to increase that by 20,000 more lights, lighting up the night.
Is that the people monitoring the cameras have the ability to move those cameras 360 degrees. They can zoom in and out on whatever's happening in the area of the camera. We have highly trained civilian personnel. Not only are they monitoring radio traffic, they have the ability to communicate directly with the officers on the street, and they're also proactively monitoring, looking for criminal activity. For example, there was a monitor that observed animal abuse, and they were able to call that out, and the suspect was apprehended at a short distance from where the observation was made.
We also have camera programs that allow that where we own and operate cameras.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, verses 1 through 2. And it reads, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Before I get started with this lesson, Lord willing, you find this lesson edifying and informative. Adon Ratazah. I'd like to give all praise, honor, and infinite glory unto the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakak Radash. Giving double honors unto the head apostles of Great Millstone, who do rule well and teach well. Shalom unto the elders and the elder bishops of the Great Millstone as well. Shalom, shalom. So this is the brother Ashamath, back at you with another lesson. Lord willing, you find this lesson edifying and informative. In this lesson, I wanted to go into the topic of the MOT to the B, but I wanted to go into that topic with visuals to show how the vision is speaking loud and clear as far as the prophecy of the MOT to the B, the infrastructure behind it at a international level, local level, and national level, as far as unrighteous decrees, as far as laws being issued forth on a financial tip, on a legal tip, and also you have the stage being set for persecution at a global level, as far as truth in the Bible, by what's going on in the UK, Canada, so on and so forth. And the MOT to the B, which is a major prophecy that we have to give warning of, because you have new eyes and ears coming into the streets all the time. Every day you have new eyes and ears. Also, it's a major prophecy that will be speaking loud and clear, and it's something that every single person is going to be faced with as far as the hour of temptation that will come upon the whole world. And it's something that the elect will be warned of, and ultimately they won't be deceived by. So with no further ado and no further rambling, let's get right into the first clip, because I'm going to play clips that show you that the vision is speaking loud and clear. Let's play clip number 1, but let's get a preset. And it reads, And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables. And the vision is the prophecies, and you speak them as plainly as you can speak them, as far as not making it super deep and complicated, so that the elect will understand. Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, and we're at the appointed time where Esau, Edom will roll these things out. Unrighteous decrees, as far as people who don't worship the image, as far as the system, they will be cut off. And that is being set up bit by bit and stage by stage. We'll go into that in a little second. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And we're in that time. We're at the set appointed time where the vision is speaking loud and clear. Now, these smart lights, which I played a video of, these are lights that are being set up in Atlanta. And Atlanta, well, that's a major hub of Southern Kingdom. San Diego, which is another city where these lights are being set up, it's a major hub where you have a lot of Northern Kingdom dwelling, both on opposite sides of the country. And the scriptures say that Esau, Edom, his eyes are set privily against the poor. You know, he does a deep search, a diligent search, you know, to ultimately roll these things out and to roll wickedness out in the earth, you know, and so on and so forth. But back to this. This is something that's been set up for a couple of years, going back into 2021, where these things were initially rolled out, right around the same time that the Contact Tracing Act was rolled out and Operation Warp Speed was rolled out. 2021, 2020. When was this rolled out? HR 6666, 2020. So around the same time, you know, the next year, better yet. And Esau rolls a lot of these things out between the months of March and May. March being the Roman god of war and May being the birthday of the Illuminati. Now, let's go into what this lady said.
Streetlights in and around Metro Atlanta.
The sensors can record outdoor temperature, capture pedestrian and vehicle movement, and record audio and video.
Drone 2.
So they can detect temperature, movement, lighting. Also, they said Bluetooth, cellular, and fiber optics. So if they can trace all those things, they can definitely read near-field communication or RFID technology. They're designed to track everything. And this is ultimately being rolled out on different sides of the country to not catch everybody's attention who's not watching, because it's a testing ground for eventually the whole country. Now, let's go into a clip from the beloved brother Bakwar Mott from the New York Men of Valor camp, because that's what's going on a surveillance tip. Now let's go into what's going on a financial tip. This is what's going on with Bank of America. I'll let him explain it to you. We'll take about a minute and a half to play some of this brother's video. I'll leave a link in the description box so you can subscribe and be edified to anybody who's new.
Who it was, but it was some individual, but based on his views, I think on like either Trump or something like that, you know, they ended up closing his account and gave some arbitrarily vague reasons for it. Anyway, a group of 15 financial officials from 13 states sent a notice to Bank of America raising concerns about the institution's debanking of Christians. We write to express our concerns over Bank of America's troubling track record of politicized debanking. And it's bad when they start to, politics start to make its way into banking. Okay. Bank of America's debanking policies and practices threaten the company's financial health, its reputation with customers, our nation's economy, and the civil liberties of everyday Americans, the officials wrote in an April 18th letter to Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan. We are especially troubled by Bank of America's track record of discriminating against religious ministries. Notable examples include Memphis-based charity Indigenous Advanced Ministries, the Timothy II Project, and Christian author and speaker Lance Walno. In April 2023, Bank of America shut down the account of Indigenous Advanced Ministries, which partners with groups in the African nation of Uganda to provide care and education for orphaned and at-risk children. The bank closed accounts of a Memphis church which donated to the organization. Bank of America provided vague reasons for the closure of these accounts, claiming the organization's activities exceeded the institution's quote-unquote risk tolerance, and that it no longer wanted to serve its business type.
And that's Revelation 13 and 15 speaking loud and clear. Let's go get it. And this is also being issued forth through what's going on in Canada, what's going on in the UK, what's going on in Ireland with, YouTube, what they call conspiracy theorists and so on and so forth. This is also being rolled out in North Dakota and Georgia. I want to say it's North Dakota, North Dakota and Georgia. I want to say not either North or South Dakota and Georgia, one of the Dakotas, Slack, it's a little late over here. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. But one of those states, South Dakota and Georgia, issued forth an unrighteous decree as far as hate speech. South Dakota, let me see. Yeah, so it's South Dakota. And that's Isaiah 10:1. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees. And that's also something that Esau Edom will be doing in the earth. He will speak great words against the Most High, wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. This is Revelation 13 and 15. And this is talking about the revitalized Roman Empire, the beast, the fourth beast that's talked about in the scriptures, in the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter, and also the book of 2nd Ezra, the 11th chapter. It's synonymous. It basically speaks of that beast. That fourth beast is synonymous with the end. Going back into Esau Edom. Esau Edom is synonymous with the end. And at the end times, this beast system, ruled by Esau Edom and the wicked elite, under the elite bankers, they will push these type of unrighteous decrees and laws and things in the earth as a part of prophecy. Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life into the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, the image of the system, and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. That goes into being actually beheaded for the word, and that word killed goes into being cut off, being ostracized, being debanked, being cut off from society, no access granted. Now let's go into the second video, second clip.
Thank you all. I'm pleased to stand with my colleagues and other friends and great patriots that are interested in the sovereignty of America. And don't be distracted at this moment. Don't you be distracted. Let's not America be distracted by what's happening in this building or what's about to happen.
Our crews have been working to repair and replace street.
Before we play that, I want to get something from here. Better yet, bear with me. Got a couple different clips I wanted to play, but I wanted to get something from this video.
Have been working to repair.
Because in Atlanta, you have this rolling out. The smart cities and business development management is rolling this out. Georgia, AT&T, and Intel are working together to update Atlanta's existing Streetlight with sensor-enabled data network, and that's the surveillance and tracking system for the MOT to the B. Because the scriptures say, a man shall desire to go in the city and shall not be able because of pestilence, disease, war, but also the MOT to the B. Access granted eventually by the MOT to the B.
Quite nicely, and it's got two.
As far as having the MOT be or not having it, access granted, and that is already being rolled out in China. You have that already being rolled out in the form of people being denied access because of their social credit score. And that's something that's being rolled out in Australia. That's something that's secretly being rolled out in America and worldwide. Social credit scores connected to banking accounts and banking systems and credit cards and debit cards based on their carbon footprint.
2 cameras, 2 audio sensors, edge processing capability.
But it's something I wanted to get from right here.
Today,
So Atlanta's Operation Shield network allows APD, Atlanta's police department, to use cameras and communication networks to monitor citizens and crimes. Now, what do you have rolled out in another city? You had the DC crime bill rolled out under the guise of peace and safety. And what was one of the unrighteous decrees that was in the DC crime bill? No gatherings of more than a few people. Eventually, Esau Edom's going to roll it out to where you can't go out and gather and teach the word and you can't hear the word. Eventually ushering in the phantom of the word, the doors of mercy closing. And this is another unrighteous decree that's being issued forth under the guise of peace and safety, because they said in this video that a person who was abusing animals was able to be tracked down and apprehended, so on and so forth. And when I read the San Diego article, they were saying the same thing. You know, let's read this real quick. And I may be a little all over this place with this lesson. I don't want to take too long to do it, but try to make it under 25 minutes if I can. Lord willing, under 30 minutes. Let's go into this. So more than 100 smart street light cameras installed on streets of San Diego. So they already have 100 of these joints. This came out February 25th, 2024, the whole year of Jacob's Trouble. And they said the San Diego Police Department, and I did a video on this the second I seen this on the news down here locally. This information came out last year that they were doing this. Is installing, so on and so forth, the second paragraph, having our smart street lights in ALPR technology, automated license plate recognition. Recognition, facial recognition, chip recognition. That's what it's really built for. But under the guise of peace and safety, they're going to fool a lot of people into thinking it's for automated license plate recognition. Yeah, right. Having our smart street lights and ALPR technology is already making our city safer. Wow. With examples just in the first 2 months of operating that show their ability to help police locate, apprehend dangerous suspects more efficiently and with greater certainty. You know, and eventually this is going to roll out to, you know, people who just believe in truth, people who believe in the scriptures, people who are against, you know, the unrighteous decrees that Esau is issuing forth. People who just want to have clean water, people who just want to have clean food. You just want to eat normal food, you know, so on and so forth. It's going to come down to that, man. You know, it's going to get that real. Look what Esau Edom's doing with the farmland and the crops and all the food, the air. People just want clean air, you know. This nigga is literally trying to criminalize everything, man. But back to this, Slakia. Let's let this play. The second clip. Enough of my rambling. Let's play this. But the main point I wanted to get was it was Operation, what was it called? Bear with me. I went to a totally different video. Slakia, let's go back here. Bear with me. It's Operation, what's it called? Operation Shield. Operation Shield. So under the guise of peace and safety, you know, Esau Edom was rolling this out. And then when this broad announced this, you had simple nappy-headed dumb niggas cheering, man. You know? Not knowing that this is the very technology and surveillance system that's going to be tracking them down, man. You know?
To increase that by 20,000 more lights, lighting up the night.
Is that the
Trust not in depression. Let's go to the next clip.
Thank you all. I'm pleased to stand with my colleagues and other friends and great patriots that are interested in the sovereignty of American. And don't be distracted at this moment. Don't you be distracted. Let's not America be distracted by what's happening in this building or what's about to happen in this building behind us. As bad as that is, and it's bad, but as bad as that is, we can do two things at once. We can pay attention to the other things that are happening around the globe and in this country. And as we speak, President Biden is planning to cede the sovereignty of the United States of America to the internationalists and the World Health Organization. The ability to decide between you and your doctor what medicine you take or do not take, whether you wear a mask or not, whether you leave your home and where you go is all potentially being ceded by this president of the United States based on a signature, subverting and disregarding the Constitution of the United States, bypassing the Senate, saying it's not a treaty, doing the exact same thing that President Obama did with the Iran nuclear deal. That was bad then, and it's a precursor. It's a warning of what might happen very, very soon. So we're gathered here today to make sure that you're all aware of what we're all aware of, that we're awake, and that we make sure that President Biden is not allowed to just sign on our behalf, and that the Senate rejects any attempt.
So that's at an international level, where it's going from an international level to a national level, because the beast system, it's a worldwide system, and you're gonna have unrighteous decrees being issued forth to usher in the next phase of this thing, whether it's a major pestilence that happens or whatever that happens. Eventually, it's going to be a major push to get the public to buy into more surveillance, to buy into actually inserting a device inside their body under the guise of peace and safety and protection from some type of pestilence or whatever they want to push down people's throats, just like they did a few years ago, with the potion. You have a lot of people dropping because of that potion. Now let's go into the next clip.
Now, I done seen this in Whole Foods for probably about 8 months now, and we're gonna keep acting like we don't see it until it comes. Pay with your palm, get started. And right now they just putting it in y'all faces to get y'all prepared. When they start putting chips in y'all and marking y'all up, and then the only way we'll be able to pay is through putting chips in our bodies and paying and scanning and okay. Y'all be trying to act like y'all don't see stuff. They put it right in our face, and then when it happens, y'all gonna be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Alright. Act like y'all ain't paying attention.
I mentioned one of them earlier. And that's the vision speaking loud and clear. That technology being in stores, that type of push and unrighteous decree, the type of push and unrighteous decrees that we see being issued from the financial sector, with Bank of America being a major financial institution, one of the top banks in the country. And then from a political standpoint, when it comes to the WHO and eventually America, Babylon the Great, surrendering over the sovereignty to the WHO under the guise of peace and safety, the Contact Trace Act, HR 6666, contact tracing and so on and so forth. And then you actually have at a local level, cities instituting surveillance, under the guise of peace and safety that can read cell phones, Bluetooth, fiber optics. Put 1 and 1 together, it always equals 2. So let's go into Matthew 24 and 24 real quick. Matthew 24 and 24. And it reads, for there shall arise false anointings and false prophets. And you have false prophets out there saying that the MOTB is sin. It's white women. It's being an Israelite cop. When they see all this technology rolling out, when they see all these unrighteous decrees being issued forth, they see the financial sector being instituted with, a social credit score, carbon footprints, as far as certain banks in certain countries doing this, it leads to eventually surveillance under the skin. Neuralink being introduced, and people buying and selling with devices in their body. Wallet more, and that type of technology being issued in grocery stores to set the stage for the MOT to get people used to waving their palm and waving their hand. It's called social engineering and social programming. This is Matthew 24 and 24. For there shall arise false anointings and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders. It's so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect, because the elect will be warned of these things. Ezekiel 3 and 17. Let's get one of them. I mentioned Ezekiel 3 and 17, and it reads, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman to the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. Hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. And what do we open up with? Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. And the Lord is bound to his word. And these things are written about in the Holy Scriptures. These things are written about in the Holy Scriptures, man. Let's go get Revelation 13. And Atlanta is a city. It's named after the Greek goddess or Greek deity or heroine in Greek mythology named Atalanta. Another way that you know that you're in a revitalized Roman Empire, because Esau Edom names the cities after ancient deities or gods of the ancient Greco-Roman Empire, or after his forefathers and ancestors. You know, Alexander the Great, Alexandria, Virginia, you know, Alexandria, Egypt, Amerigo Vespucci, America, Leo Scipio Africanus, Africa. We can go on and on and on and on. That's talked about in the book of Psalms, the 49th chapter. And Esau, Edom is synonymous with the end, or the end age. Revelation 13 and 16. Revelation 13 and 15. He had power to give life into the image of the beast. The image is the system. The beast is the fourth beast that's talked about in Daniel 7, which is synonymous with the end, you know. Matter of fact, but we'll get that in a second. Let's continue this. And he had power to give life into the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, the vision speaking loud and clear, the system speaking loud and clear by what's being wrought out on the earth and who's doing it, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, going into being cut off from society. And those men, some of them beheaded because they didn't bow down to the modern day Roman Empire and his system and his mark that he wants to put inside you. Because this is something that everybody's going to be faced with. Revelation 13 and 16, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. And that mark is the RFID and NFC chip, which goes in your hand or in your forehead. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell, save he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, going into the universal product code system, where you can be scanned and you can be processed in that man's system by the wave of your hand. Well, it starts out with the wave of your hand. You can do it right now through waving your debit card, which has an RFID chip in it. But eventually, like the World Health Organization says, and the World Economic Forum said, they want to go and put surveillance under the skin. What were they talking about? Well, we know what they're talking about. It's being rolled out bit by bit and stage by stage. We just played a few videos going into how it's being done. Now, let's get 2nd Ezra real quick. 2nd Ezra 11. Before we get that, let's get this. This is Hebrews 11 and 3. And it reads, through faith we understand the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. By faith we know and understand that everything is bound by the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, including Esau Edom. He's a victim of prophecy. Just like we're victims of prophecy. We're prisoners of Yahushai. Well, Esau Edom is a victim of prophecy. And it's prophetic that he would do these things in the last days. And he would be ruling. He's synonymous with the end. He would be issuing forth these unrighteous decrees. He would be speaking draconian in the earth, you know. And at the end of the movie, he would be destroyed and enslaved and never come back into power again. This is 2nd Ezra 11. It's about 41. Second Ezra 11. And yeah. And 38. Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee, are not thou it that remainest of the four beasts, who I made to reign in my world at the end of their times, might come through thee? Slack it. It's a little late. I'm gonna read it again. Are not thou it that remainest of the four beasts, the four empires, the Neo-Assyrian Empire, the Persian Mede Empire, Greece, and then Rome, and then the final leg of the Roman Empire, which is what we're living in right now. The fourth beast is synonymous with Rome. And you have Rome that came back. And that's what we're living in, the final leg of the Roman Empire. The fourth beast. Are not thou that it remainest of the four beasts whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them? It Let's get 2nd Ezra real quick. I'll get Hebrews 11 and 3 in a different version. We'll wrap on up. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. And it reads, for Esau is the end of the world. That world is talking about an age. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Let's get this in the NRSV. And it reads, Second Ezra 6 and 9. Yeah, in the RSV, the Revised Standard Version. For Esau is the end of this age, this eon, and Jacob is the beginning of the age that follows. Now, let's go into Hebrews 11 and 3 in a different version. Hebrews 11 and 3 in the Amplified Bible. And it reads, Hebrews 11 and 3, through faith, we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of the Heavenly Father. Speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth. And let's get it again. 2nd Ezra 15 and 2, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Everything's bound by the word of the Heavenly Father, you know. 2nd Ezra 4. And Esau Edom is written to do these things in the earth and be ruling and be proud as fuck when he's doing it, you know, and eventually destroyed. 2nd Ezra 4 and 36. And to these things Uriel gave, and to these things Uriel the archangel gave them answer and said, even the number of the seeds filled in you, for he hath weighed the world in the balance. By measure had he measured the times, and by number had he numbered the times, the ages, the kingdoms, and he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. We're in the time where Esau Edom's wickedness is just about fulfilled. You know, the time of the Gentiles, you know, the rulership of the Gentiles is just about fulfilled. His wickedness is just about at its tip. And the cherry on top of his wickedness is to push that chip in the earth. That's going to be the cherry on that's going to be the cherry on the top of the icing on top of the cake, man. You know, the cherry on the cheesecake. Hebrews 11 and 3 in the Amplified Bible, and it reads, by faith, that is, with an inherent trust and enduring confidence in the power, wisdom, and goodness of the Most High, we understand the world's universe, ages, Esau is the end of this age, were framed and created, formed, put in order, and equipped for their intended purpose. This matches up perfectly with 2nd Ezra 4 and 36 and 37, which we just read, you know, when you read it in a different version. By the word of the Most High, and Esau Edom is bound to the word of the Most High. He's controlled by the Heavenly Father. To do all these things of wickedness is an example of how not to rule, you know, by the word of the Most High, so that what is seen was not made out of things which are visible, because that's where real faith comes in, you know. Real faith, you know, faith is the evidence of things not seen. You know, as far as we didn't have to see, you know, major miracles to believe in miracles. We didn't have to see spiritual power to believe in spiritual power. We know it's coming. You know, we believe it's coming. We know deliverance is coming, you know, and we know ultimately by what the Heavenly Father allows us to see as far as the prophecies being rolled out, and Esau Edom in the height of his pride, just like the scriptures say he would, in issuing forth these unrighteous decrees, and step by step as the MOTB infrastructure rolls out more aggressively, people denying it when it's in plain sight. So with that, you know, I'm gonna close on now. I don't want to get too more deep into the topic. It's just something that was on my spirit as I seen these couple clips. You know, so with that, I'm gonna close on now. I think all the points are hit. And in closing, Lord willing, you were edified and informed. I'd like to give all praise, honor, and infinite glory unto the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors unto the head apostles and elders of the great millstone who do rule well and teach well. Shalom unto the elders and the elder bishops of the great millstone as well. Shalom, shalom. And until next time, next lesson, next camp session, shalom, wa abba ba. So, shalom.